Wait a minute, something's wrong here.
Yeah! Come on, Samantha.
Don't know more.
Yeah!
I said, wait a minute, something's wrong here, baby. He don't like this, don't know more. Guess I just gotta take all my things. I said my
Come on!
I realized she got sold.
And
How you
Now give it up for Samantha. Said I think I'll go back over yonder. Said I go back way across the hill. Said I go back over yonder. Away, lost away.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Hello. I'm OT Who Speaks, also known as O Speaks. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. A little congested, getting over the flu, still kind of in it, but I really wanted to go live about this. This seems kind of loud. Is it just me? Does that sound any better? Any better? Any better? I really wanted to go live about what happened the other day between Donald Trump, JD Vance, and Volodymyr Zelenskyy. What's going on, Paul Thomas, Uncle L, Henry, Just Jay? What happened was outrageous. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? But me, knowing who I am and knowing how many videos I've done on this guy, videos alone, I've done 14 videos on this guy. I've known about this guy. I've known what he is. I knew he was going to do this. I just didn't know when. But I knew when Trump won that eventually this was going to happen. I didn't think it'd be publicly. That was phenomenal. But I knew this was going to happen because it could go no other way. Volodymyr Zelenskyy. I made a video almost 2 years to the day, March 1st, 2023. And this guy was giving a lecture to the American people. And it was during an interview. And I want to play that first before I do anything because it's so outrageous. Trigger warning, by the way. But again, this is 2 years ago. And anyone who pays taxes, anyone who cares about free speech, anyone who cares about freedom of expression or thought should be pretty annoyed when they hear this guy and how he talks about you and how you should think and why you should give him money. Again, this is 2 years ago, March 1st, 2023. And let's go straight to that. Again, if you're new here, like, subscribe, share, please do. So let's go and watch this clown and my car video about this clown, because this is just the beginning, and then we're going to lead into what happened. This is going to be a little bit longer live stream, but it's very important. I may do videos about the aftermath of what happened after this meeting, or I may just do lives Wednesday and continue this, because this is really important. And this needed to happen. We just didn't have a president who was brave enough to make this happen because he's a coward. Biden is a coward. He didn't really know what was going on, and they were funneling money. That's what this was all about. It was repayment for Hunter Biden's crimes and Zelensky's unwillingness to look into it. So, without further ado, you're going to have to look at my ugly mug in a car talking about this topic. Let's see. There we go. That would be me. Let's hear Volodymyr Zelenskyy.
I'm going to show you guys Vladimir Zelenskyy and
You're going to
his
have to look at me
entitlement
twice. Let me do
mindset
this.
and his borderline tyrant mindset. I'm going to show you his lack of understanding of democracy. I'm going to show you his lack of understanding of America. I'm going to show you his lack of understanding of Americans. I'm going to show you that he does not believe in freedom of speech. And not only does he not believe in freedom of speech, he doesn't believe you have a right to an opinion. And if you have an opinion, bad consequences will happen if it doesn't align with his. Now, we sit here and we talk about Putin, and we're right to talk about Putin when he's a dictator, and we sit here and we criticize that. There's nothing wrong with that. But that has nothing to do with this other guy, because this other guy's no different. And I'm going to show it. There's a 2 to 3 minute clip of him answering questions. Now, I got this out of a almost 3 hour long press conference. But in this clip, he says some very interesting things that should make you go, whoa, what does this guy think he is? And if it doesn't, all power to you. You know why? Because in America, we have a right to an opinion. Doesn't matter what the opinion is. Doesn't matter if it's self-destructive. But you're going to see that he doesn't think you have that right. And hopefully, just hopefully, it opens your eyes to the real motivation of us being in Ukraine. So we're going to start the video right now.
That a growing number of Americans believe that the US is giving too much support to Ukraine. What would your message be on the anniversary to those Americans? Thank you.
I would like to thank the American people. I would like to thank all of the American people that are supporting Ukraine, the Congress, the President, the TV channels, the journalists, and everyone that has been supporting us. And that percentage of Americans, as you've mentioned, is increasing. I can tell them only one thing. If they do not change their opinion, if they do not understand us, if they do not support Ukraine, they will lose NATO, they will lose the clout of the United States, they will lose the leadership position that they are enjoying in the world, that they are enjoying for a very fair reason, and they will lose the support of the country with 40 million of population, with millions of children. Are American children's any?
So I'm going to give commentary on this video, but it's just listen to the arrogance. If you don't support me in my war, you're going to lose our support of the Ukrainian people. There's 40 million of us. Okay, that's California. Sorry, I didn't. This dude is unbelievable. Just listen to the arrogance. Again, you're going to hear my commentary at the time, but keep in mind, this is almost to the day 2 years ago. A year after this war started, the arrogance was already there. What's going on, Paul Thomas? What's going on, Uncle L? Miss Chicago, Mel Dub. I see you guys.
Any different than ours?
So did you hear what he said? Now, I'm just going right through, and I know the area of the video to come back in and talk, because I know exactly what he said. What he said is, to all the people who believe in us, who agree with my opinion on this war, to everyone who agrees with me, I appreciate you, I thank you. Now, to the growing population, as the reporter put it, to the growing population, the percentage of people who disagree with me, you're going to be the cause of your country losing favor in the world. You're going to be the cause of the downfall of America. Not just that. If that's not bad enough, you, the guy who's working in a manufacturing plant somewhere, if you don't agree that we should use your tax dollars for Ukraine, you're going to be the cause of the downfall of your country. That's what he said. I don't have to make this up. I don't have to add anything, any context. This is what this man just told you. Now, not only did he tell you that, but he said, and you're going to lose the support of Ukraine. So if you don't support Ukraine, you're going to be the downfall of your country, and you're going to lose our support. There's 40 million of us, you know that. What has Ukraine ever done for the United States again?
Nothing.
Just curious. Just curious. You're going to lose the support of Ukrainians. Are our kids any different than yours? Yes, they are, as a matter of fact. You're not American. So by the mindset that he has, by the arrogance, by the entitlement thought process that he has, when it comes time to put boots on the ground, because they are our equals, we need to send our soldiers. Are our kids any different than yours? Yes.
Don't Americans enjoy the same things as we do? I don't think we're that different. And I'm actually very happy that we have bipartisan support, but we keep hearing those messages from time to time, and they're dangerous. There are political leaders that are elected by people, and if this issue is raised, those political leaders need to be responsible and cautious because people are looking at them.
Did you hear that? We're not much different from you guys. But your opinion is dangerous. Really? Your opinion to not pay for my war with another country that's not related to yours is dangerous. And all you politicians, you better be very careful. Be very careful because you're being watched. What does that mean? These sound like dictators' threats. All you politicians, the American people voted you in, you better be careful. Be careful with those opinions. I'm not making this up. This is what he's saying. Can you hear what he's saying? Think about what he's saying.
Who wants a third world war? Would anyone Would anyone be willing to accept that risk? The U.S. is never going to give up on the NATO member states. If it happens so that Ukraine, due to various opinions and weakening and depleting of assistance, loses, Russia is going to enter Baltic states, NATO member states, and then the U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war.
Do you hear what he's saying? Your opinion is not only dangerous, but if we lose because you don't want to pay for me to fight, you're going to cause World War III. Do you hear what this man's mindset is? This is why he's so arrogant with your money. And when he said, what did he say? This is not a charity. This is a responsibility. He believed it. People said, oh, he didn't mean it that way. I am proving to you right now that is exactly what he meant. If you have a different, your opinion is dangerous, and your opinion is could cause your political leaders to say, you know what, we can't support it the way you want us to. We're going to deplete the funds. This is what he said. And you will be the cause of World War III. Not that we're already in a world war by supporting another country that is not a NATO ally. No, no, no. That's not going to cause the world war. What's going to cause it is if he loses. This is how tyrants think. He is the most important man in the world, according to him. And if he loses, World War III. And it's your fault. It won't be his fault. It won't be his fault for not wanting to go to the table. It'll be your fault for disagreeing, for sending him to send him the weapons. It's what he's saying. I'm not making this up. I'm showing you proof that when I saw him immediately, I knew something was off with him. I said, this man is corrupt. This man is dangerous. And I'm going to put every Ukraine video on, like I always do. They're just piling up. There's at least 10 now. Go all the way back to the very beginning. Who is this guy? He's an actor. He's part of the community. And now he's sitting here telling you, you don't have a right to an opinion. Well, sorry, you have a right to an opinion, but the wrong opinion will cause World War III, and it's on you. And it'll cause the downfall of your country. This man, he lost his ever-loving mind. But he's dead serious. And this is who our politicians are rallying you around. Talking about how important Ukraine is. All of a sudden, by the way.
The U.S. is never going to give up on the NATO member states. If it happens so that Ukraine, due to various opinions and weakening and depleting of assistance, loses, Russia is going to enter Baltic states, NATO member states, and then the U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war.
All right, I had it muted. I had myself muted because I'm hacking up a storm over here. It sounds like I was congested back then too. So that's my introduction to this guy. And again, I've been paying attention to this war since it started. I've been paying attention to him since the whole Hunter Biden thing, and I've just known about him. This was the 10th video I had made at that time. I've only done 4 since, and I think I've done a live stream. I put 14 videos in this description. How you doing, Miss Phoenix? Vibe in my lane. How you doing? Because you guys can see the progression, and I've been saying the same thing this whole time. And it's not that I have a better discernment or anything. I just look at things differently, and I pay attention to things that most people don't. And as soon as we started this war, I was curious as to why. And as soon as I get curious about something, I just start looking into it. And then I go down rabbit holes. This is almost everything. Everything that I find interesting. This is just what I do. My first video on the war was May 11th, 2022. What's going on, John Thompson? I think the war started a month before that. I understand this issue. I've studied this stuff. I know what's going on. I'm pulling up the video. Sorry. This guy has done things in his own country that show me that he's a tyrant, a wannabe tyrant. He's not used to any kind of pushback. He arrests journalists. He shuts down churches. And it feels like he's only interested in winning. You heard me in the video mention that he's part of the community. I'm going to start this video. He's an actor. That's what he is. He's an actor. He's not the Ronald Reagan type who's actually a good actor and played in westerns and stuff like this. This guy is a clown who is a comedic actor, but he did like the community stuff. So now we're going to move on to the video. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of context as to who he is and show you how arrogant he was just 1 year into the war. Let's do this. Present video file. And welcome everybody. Welcome again. I'm O Speaks. Going over what happened the other day. I'm sure a lot of people saw it, if not everyone saw it. Trump and JD Vance kind of got into it with this little guy. And I had to speak on it because this is a topic that I'm very well versed in. I know who this guy is. Again, I've been watching this guy since the whole Hunter Biden laptop thing and the impeachment. And I couldn't understand why he wouldn't just look into what Hunter was doing there. So I started learning about this guy. And whoo, is he corrupt. Whoo, is he corrupt. But anyway, let's do this.
President has been praised as a master of social media, really knowing how to keep Ukraine in the headlines. For example, this is one of the many social media campaigns that he has spearheaded that has gone viral.
Now, again, I said he's an actor, but he's also really, really, really good at playing with the media. PsyOps. What is a PsyOp? Anything that is forced onto its people or the people is a psychological operation to get you to believe what they believe or what they want you to believe or a narrative that they're spinning. This is what this guy has been doing since day one. You know, look at his clothes. And they mentioned this. They mentioned this during we'll cover it later on. Look at his clothes. Everything he does is very calculated, and it's for television, and it's for a broad audience, so you can listen to what he's saying and believe him. It's got nothing to do with what's actually happening. He's a little guy. Sorry.
But his latest appearance in Vogue has had mixed reactions. So this famous photographer, Annie Leibovitz, snapped shots like this one of Zelenskyy and the First Lady. And for example, this one, which has caused quite a bit of controversy, with Twitter users commenting that these photos are distasteful and even casting doubt on the severity of the war in Ukraine, just like this user is doing in this tweet.
So as the war started, he was doing these photo shoots in rubble with soldiers in the background and his wife. And they're sitting there looking regal, walking through a war zone. So this is the very beginning of the war. This is 6-8 months in. And people are like, well, what's going on? This is worse than Wag the Dog. Like, we can see this guy. He's on a promotional tour. What's going on here? Who is this guy?
And this Republican congresswoman has even accused President Zelenskyy of scamming the U.S. into sending foreign financial aid. So we spoke to Anjana Suzarla, who has studied Zelenskyy's PR strategy, and she told us that it is quite different from his initial and more authentic social media presence.
The contrast between I am one of you versus suddenly I have time to do all these glamorous things. And I can see why that would be upsetting to people, because it's suddenly the contrast is too jarring.
All right, so this is who the guy really is. This is him right here, as you can see on the screen. And this is what he used to do before. He was part of this little group who would run around and do these kinds of shows. That's who he is. So when I say he's part of that community, I don't know if that's what he does. I just know that that's what he likes to act and do. And that's what he was doing in public before he became president. Hey, they voted him in. That's none of my business. I just think it's really interesting how now he's a tough guy, and you saw him. Well, we're about to get to that. Jalen. I've been watching this guy from the beginning. I know who he is. So when I'm making fun of him, let me fix this. When I'm making fun of him, it's based on something. It's based on something. This is who he is. He's got world leaders fooled. He went in Congress and lectured the American people on how it's our responsibility to give Ukraine money. And he always talks about our allies. He's not a NATO ally. He keeps saying it over and over and over. He throws that in there to make it seem like he is, but he's not. What he's saying is, if you don't save me, your allies will be next. You could say that about anything. You could literally say that about anything. No comment. All right, let me go back. Let me get back to the video because it's pretty long. I want to go over the whole sequence. It's not all of it, but it's most of it. But I want you guys to see the buildup and what he was doing and what led to Trump's frustration. And Trump let a lot go. He let a lot go before he finally said, all right, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Financial packages you have already provided us with and the ones you may be willing to decide on. Your money is not charity. It's an investment in the global security and democracy that we handle in the most responsible way.
All right, so they handle it in the most responsible way. Again, I have a lot of videos on this guy. So all I had to do was go back to some of my old videos and find, hey, what's going on, boss man? And find, hey, what's going on, Real Talk Nikki? How you doing? And I went back to the videos and said, you know what? This guy, what is he talking about handling our money in the most responsible way? What are we doing here? I know it's not true. You know how I know? Right here.
So what exactly happened? Over the last few days, numerous Ukrainian officials were fired from their posts or arrested after several faced allegations of corruption in the country's media. Then, President Zelensky's own deputy chief of staff resigned after journalists revealed that he had acquired a habit of using expensive sports cars to travel around the country. This happened even as the country's economy was being decimated by Russian missiles. In total, several key ministers, 5 deputy ministers, and numerous regional governors and top officials have either been fired or asked to resign from their jobs in a matter of days.
Ukraine's security services have caught some defence ministry officials who stole 37 million euros that were supposed to buy mortar shells for the war effort. Some of the employees from the arms firm who conspired with the officials to embezzle the money were also apprehended. The SUB said late on Saturday that 5 people have been charged, including one who was detained trying to leave Ukraine. If found guilty, they face up to 12 years in prison.
Okay, so the reason I wanted to show that is every year they've had to do a purge of all of his top staff. All the top government officials would either get fired or resign because they got caught stealing money. Where'd they get the money from? Oh, you! Paul, you, Mel, Jalen, boss man, your money. If you're here, if you're American, they were stealing your money, and it's yet to be audited. It has not been audited. I don't know if he's a Zionist boss man. The reason I say that is because he sure was kowtowing to those Nazis to get them to fight for him. I don't know how that works together. He is Jewish, I know that, but what was he recruiting them Nazis to fight? Anyway, all that corruption, every single year he was losing pretty much all of his top officials to corruption. They were using our money, buying expensive cars, driving around in rubble. And he responsibly used our money. No, you didn't. But I have not played a video yet, and that video is going to start right now. Jalen?
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have President Zelenskyy of Ukraine, and we've been working very hard, very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time, and very well. We had a little negotiation spat, but that worked out great. I think for both countries, I think for the world, actually, beyond both countries. And we have something that is a very fair deal. And we look forward to getting in and digging and working and getting some of the rare earth. But it means we're going to be inside, and it's a big commitment from the United States, and we appreciate working with you very much. And we will continue to do that. We have had some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We'll have to negotiate a deal, but we've started the confines of a deal, and I think something can happen. The big thing is the number of soldiers, mostly at this point, but soldiers being killed. You're losing thousands of soldiers on both sides.
Just look at his eyes. He does a lot of this. You look at his hands. He knows what he's going to do. This is his moment. I'm going to go over in another live or either in some videos. Marco Rubio said this was not supposed to even, they weren't even supposed to be talking about this. What they were supposed to be doing was just signing the minerals agreement. And he started bringing up stuff. You'll see what happens. But just look at his body language. He planned this and I guess thought it was going to go over well, or thought that Trump was Biden and he's just going to sit there and ignore all this nonsense that he does. But just pay attention. Watch his body language. Watch how he reacts to certain things that Trump says that he doesn't agree with or believe. And instead of just sitting there and going with the flow, because this is not about that, he makes it about that. He even has a folder with photographs ready. This is what he wanted to do. And yes, absolutely, real talk, Nikki. So disrespectful.
We're losing a lot of soldiers, and we want to see it stop, and we want to see the money get put to different kinds of use, like rebuilding, and we're going to be working very hard. But we've had a lot of very good conversations. I will say until we came along, the Biden administration didn't speak to Russia whatsoever. They didn't speak to anybody. They just allowed
Look at his
this to
hands.
continue. And I will say that, I'll say in front of you, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, if I were president, this war would have never happened. We would have had a deal negotiated for you without having to go through what you've gone through. But your soldiers have been unbelievably brave. We've given them great equipment, but somebody has to use the equipment. They've been unbelievably brave, and we give them great credit. This was supposed to be over very quickly, and here we are 3 years later. So I give tremendous credit to your generals and your soldiers and yourself in the sense that it's been very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great fighters. And you have to be very proud of them from that standpoint. But now we want to get it over with. It's enough, right? We want to get it over with. So it's an honor to have you here. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to sign the agreement at the conference in the East Room in a little while, right after lunch. And we'll be having lunch together. We're also discussing some other things. And we appreciate everybody being here. It's somewhat of an exciting moment,
This is
but
supposed
the
to be
really
it,
exciting moment
right
is
here.
when we get when they stop the shooting and we end up with a deal. And I think we're fairly close to getting that, and an honor to have you. And please, I'd like to say something.
No, thank you so much, Mr.
So that was really supposed to be what they're talking about. A little summary of what's going on, where the end goal is, and that we're signing this mineral deal so that America can be there on the ground. Right? What's going on, Coco DeVille? Absolutely, his arms were folded. His body language is all okay. When do I jump in? When do I jump in? When do I jump in? And you just watch him. He's playing with his hands. He's doing this with his. He's moving. He was just waiting for a chance that he thought was gonna. I don't know what he thought was gonna happen, but he's dealing with a grown man, and it didn't go well.
President, thank you for your invitation. And really, I hope that this first document will be first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine, our
There we
people,
go.
our children. I really count on it. And of course, we count that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue it. I want to discuss it with details further during our conversation, and of course, the infrastructure or security guarantees. Because for today, I understand what Europe is ready to do. And of course, I want to discuss with you what the United States will be ready to do. And I really count on your strong position to stop Putin. And you said that enough with the war. I think that is very important, Ben, to say these words to Putin at the very beginning of war, because he is a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. But for us, it's very important to, to save our country, our values, our freedom and democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories. But it will.
No compromises with a killer. Okay. If you have a hostage situation, right, and somebody's in a bank and they're robbing a bank and they got 10 hostages, you don't go berating the people who have the hostages. What's going on, Vince? What you do is you say, hey, what's going on, man? Hey, we're good. We're friends. We want to make this all work out. You don't start calling them killers and you don't even acknowledge the bank robbery, honestly. You talk about how are we going to come to an agreement here so that we can keep everybody safe, including you. Hey, listen, we're not worried about you. We'll get you a helicopter. We'll get you boats. We'll get you anything that you can get away. But our focus is on these hostages, right? What he wants Donald Trump to do is publicly condemn Putin and take a side. You won't see this in any situation when it comes to negotiation. The person mediating has to be in the middle. He's already called Putin a terrorist, a killer, and said, I hope you tell Putin that. And it's like, what are you doing? What is this? We're here to sign a mineral agreement. Why are you doing this now? So you'll every time you'll see Trump do this with his jacket, you know he's getting annoyed. And he's going to do that several times throughout this video. I think he's already done it once. But in the negotiation, the hostage scenario, You treat them with the utmost respect because they're holding the cards. They have 10 hostages or however many they have. You can't do this. You cannot do what he's trying to get Trump to do. The media's been doing this since before Trump got elected. Well, are you going to condemn Putin? This is what Biden did. This is why nothing happened but war, death. This is why we're in the situation we are now. Donald Trump refused to say things. And what has the media been saying since he started saying, I'm not going to insult the guy? How are we going to come up with an agreement? And that's the conventional wisdom. Condemn Putin. Let him know who's the boss. No, it hasn't worked. How many times has Biden called Putin a dictator and a killer and we will not stop and we will take this to the end? What has that gotten us outside of the $280 billion we've put into this? By the way, he says it's only been 100. All the accounting says 180. So we don't even know exactly how much was sent. But why are they so insistent on Trump insulting one half of the negotiation? Not just one half of the negotiation, the half that's winning the war. He's already taken several provinces within Ukraine. So you want Trump to insult the guy. Why? What does that do? How does that help anything? It doesn't.
Will be later, and of course what I wanted, we spoke about it by phone with you about the drones production. We have very good drones production. I think the best one in the world for today because of the war. Yes, and of course we need very much the air defense. You have the best air defense in the world, and really you helped us under attacks of Russians. And I want to speak how we can exchange the licenses. We're open to share the licenses of all our drones with you, of course, with the United States. And we need licenses for quick production of air defense. Even after the war, we need our nation to be calm, that we are secure. So that's why we need this air shield. And of course, about this, I want to speak about the contingents. I think that France and UK already spoke to you, and we know that Europe is ready, but without the United States, they will not be ready to be as strong as we need. And the last point, last not least, about exchange, about our people and children. And you know that this crazy Russian, that they stolen 20,000
crazy Russian
Ukrainian children. They changed their names. They changed their families, relatives, and now they're in Russia. We want to bring them back.
Okay, so everything he's saying is horrible, right? It's not good. But why are you doing this here when we're supposed to be signing an agreement on minerals? Why are you talking about hostages and children that were stolen? We don't know if it's true. It's a propaganda game, and that's all he's interested in. It's all a show. He could be telling 100% truth, but this is not the place for that. What you're doing right now is just wrong. Again, he's trying to sway the American public because he now knows the American public are like, yeah, you know what? We don't need to be here. I don't like this. We have children in the streets here. We have children who are going through horrible schooling here. We have illegal aliens coming in and taking our own kids' education. Like, we have stuff to worry about here. Are they being kidnapped and renamed? No, but I don't know if that's even true about what you're saying. That's a lot of kids. Did they just target 20,000 kids and just steal them? I don't know, maybe. If they did, they did. I don't know. But this is not the platform for this. He's trying to make an appeal. That's what he's trying to do to the American public and apparently to Trump. And he wanted to do this in front of the media. Again, I'm going to be going over this on another live. But the aftermath of this, Rubio came out and said, hey, he knew what this meeting was. He asked for the media to be there. We were just going to have the dinner and sign the deal. It should have been done 5 days before this happened. I think this happened Friday. But he asked for the media to be there, and then he pulls this. It's all planned.
And really, it's a big dream, task, and goal for me, and our warriors. By the way, Mr. President, we released more than 4,000 warriors from Russian prison, but there are thousands more in the prison. I wanted to share with you some images. How it's, I've just can I now?
Yeah,
Have I?
please.
So now he pulls out the manila folder with evidence, and he's going to show the president, I guess, unalived kids, stolen kids. What are we doing here? That's not what this is. And again, I'll go over this on another live or either in some videos. I still haven't decided how I'm gonna do that. But Rubio's like, he's acting. He came up here and is acting as if he has not spoken with anybody. Rubio said over the last 10 days, he's spoken to people every day, whether it was him, whether it was the president by phone, and he named a bunch of other people that he's actually been in communication with. This is all to show you, the American public, hey, this is why we need your billions of dollars. Understand, they're stealing our children. And it's like, all right, dude, but why are you doing this right now? That's not even what this was. This meeting or this press conference was supposed to be over. When Trump was done, he's supposed to say a little bit about the mineral agreement, and they're supposed to go to lunch. The lunch is sitting outside at this point. And Trump's like, all right, well, can I show you pictures? I want to show you pictures. These are our kids. And it's like, okay, this guy's got a whole nother motivation here.
A minute, 1 minute, 1 minute.
That's why he's rushing. By the way, that's why he's rushing, because he knows this is already supposed to be over. This is all a game for him. And I understand the desperation if you're genuinely trying to do this for your people, and you're genuinely scared, and you're genuinely afraid for your nation's mere existence. I get it. How does this help? And when the president starts talking about ceasefires, why do you say no? 2 years ago, actually, every year since this started, he said, I will not negotiate with Putin. He's a terrorist. It's like, oh, okay. That's interesting. Because during this, he's going to say the same thing. And it's like, why are you here then? What are we doing?
And in what circumstances, in what situation they are, and what the attitude of Russia to our prisoners. That guys, just you before and after. And you see before and after, just you to understand. Now thousands of such guys, ladies and men, there, and that, so they don't eat, they beat them, and they, so they do a lot of, bad things. So out of, even during the war, there are rules. Everybody knows there are rules during the war. So these guys, they don't have any rules. You see that 50, 60 kilograms left, and a lot of such things. And I didn't want to show you what the changes with images of children, because I will just share with you. And I mean, it's looking tragic.
Yep, that's tough stuff.
Yeah, I wanted very much to give you, and you see it.
Yeah.
This is.
So we understand war is horrible. I'm pretty sure Russia can show us just as many pictures. According to Zelenskyy, Russia has lost a lot more soldiers, so I'm sure they can show us horrific things that were done to their soldiers. What does that have to do with me? Why does that mean I have to fund it? You're not a NATO ally. It's horrible. There's things happening like this all over the world. There's stuff like this happening right now in all over the continental Africa. South America, there's stuff like this happening everywhere. What makes you more important than anyone else? What makes you more important than my family? Yes, exactly. He's trying to pull heartstrings. And I understand, Coco, I understand the reason for the postponing of the election. There's a legitimate reason. When your country's at war, you have thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people fighting. They can't vote. They can't just stop fighting to go vote. You have people who have left the country, who are either here or claim refugees or maybe asylum cases outside of the country. They can't vote. You have people who are literally in the country who are scared to come out, so they're coming out just for food. They're not going to be able to vote. So I understood that. Whatever. I do understand why they're not holding elections. I just don't understand why it couldn't be turned over to their full government instead of just leaving him in power. Because what he's been doing with the media and with churches is like, All right, what's going on here? He should just be in charge of the executive, and I don't know what their constitution looks like, but there is a legitimate reason, or at least logic, to why he's not doing elections. I just don't. I don't trust this guy.
Pastor, by the way, they stolen pastors because it's not Russian.
They're stealing
church.
pastors.
They stolen pastors and moved pastors to the prison. We, at the end of last year, we brought 3 pastors, and we could exchange them. And this is pastor, you see. Like,
Yeah, it's tough.
yeah. So I mean,
It's
this
tough.
I wanted to show you, and this. So thank you very much.
We want to get that ended, right?
Yeah, of course. We
And I
want.
think we will. I think.
So Trump goes to the logical conclusion. Cool, let's end it. That should be like that should end the whole conversation. Yep, I agree. Let's end it. Let's sign this deal. Let's go home. That's not what's going to happen right now.
We will. And
We have to, of course.
do you have any questions, please?
Long-term security for Ukraine.
I think they're going to have great luck. I think once we make the agreement, that's going to be 95% of it. They're not going to go back to fighting. I've spoken with President Putin, and I feel very strong. I've known him for a long time, and I feel very strongly that they're very serious about it, and we'll make a deal. And when the deal is made, I don't think we talk about security. Everyone's talking about the other day. All they talked about was security. I said, let me make the deal first. I have to make the deal first. I don't worry about security right now. We have to have a deal, because right now, last week, 2,000 soldiers died on both sides. 2,000, and they're losing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a week. So as we sit here and we talk, people are getting shot and dying on the battlefield. And you know, they're not American soldiers, but they're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers, and we want to be able to stop it. And we want to be able also to spend money on other things. We don't want to. This is a tremendous amount of money, and what the Biden administration did was terrible. They were giving money, but he had no security on the money. Europe, as you know, gave much less money, but they had security. It was in the form of a loan. They get their money back, and we didn't. And now, at least we're protected, because the American taxpayer has to be protected too. But this is an incredible agreement for Ukraine, because we have a big investment in their country now, and what they have, very few people have.
And really, we can help Europe, because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support. But they are our friends, and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot, Mr. President. They did.
They gave a lot, but they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No.
But see, he's disagreeing to disagree, and he's trying to do it respectfully, but it's a fact that Europe gave less, and Europe is several nations. This is one. So the fact that everywhere around him gave less than us, or across the Atlantic, is weird, to say the least. And that he's trying to make this case as they give enough. No, they haven't. I've given more. And it's like, what are we doing? Yeah, no. He's trying to kowtow to both.
No.
Okay. This to me is one of the most important things, because we have tremendous death taking place as we speak, and I don't want to have that. You know, think of the parents, whether they're in Russia or Ukraine, think of the parents of all these people being killed needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started. This would have, if I were president, this would have never started.
And this is an important comment here. You can only laugh. Others gave a loan, and our politicians just wrote a blank check. Everywhere else, Europe, and anyone else who gave money to Ukraine is in the form of a loan. We're the only ones who did guaranteed loans, and we started just waiving the payback. Why? Why are we the only idiots in the world who weren't getting our money back? Because Biden was in office, and there was a bunch of hippie liberals around him who were actually running the country.
Do you feel like the U.S. is on your side? That the President Trump is on your side at this
Here we go.
At this moment?
What do you think?
He wants to know, do you think that, sort of a stupid question. I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and I think that President Trump on our side, and of course, I'm sure that the United States President will not stop support. This is crucial for us. It's important for us. Yes. And Putin, the president speaks about the people and the soldiers which are dying, but they came to our territory, they came to our land. They began this war, and they have to stop. And I think this is the question, with really the most important question. Can President Trump, I hope yes, with some other allies, to stop Putin, withdraw these enemies, our enemy, withdraw these troops from our land? And I think that you asked about the history, I think that if President, or when, he will stop Putin, if President Trump will bring peace to our country, I think he will be on this wall.
We've had very, very good talks.
I'm gonna start speaking. So, if Trump succeeds at stopping Putin, then he'll be on that wall. What does that even mean? Like, so his whole existence as a president and reputation lies on the Ukraine war with Russia? These little things that he was doing, I think a lot of people didn't pick up on. What's going on, Free J? Long time no see. I was annoyed way before, but I was probably, to be realistic, I was annoyed before this thing started. As soon as I knew they were going to meet.
President Zelenskyy just said that there would be no compromises with Vladimir Putin. I just wanted to ask both of you. Firstly, are there compromises that you think that President Zelenskyy is going to have to make? And President Zelenskyy, is there anything that you may be able to offer or bring to the table, for example, elections? Thank you.
I think you're going to have to always make compromises. You can't do any deals without compromises. So certainly he's going to have to make some compromises, but hopefully they won't be as big as some people think you're going to have to make. That's all. That's all we can do. I'm here as an arbitrator, as a mediator to a certain extent between two parties that have been very hostile. To put it mildly, they've been very hostile. There's been a vicious war. There's been a vicious war. You know, it's a very level battlefield, and those bullets go out, and as I've said many times, we were talking about it with Pete, many times the only thing stopping those bullets is a human body. And in the case we're talking about, generally young human bodies are stopping a lot of bullets. It's dead level. That's why it's great farmland. It's great land. It's great farmland, but there's very little protection against the bullets that are being, and other things that are being shot. So all I can do is see if I can get everybody at the table and get an agreement. And I think we're going to end up with an agreement. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably be even here today. You know.
So the minerals are graphite and lithium, which is for batteries, and obviously electric cars, stuff like that can really, really, really benefit from that. Beryllium and titanium. All of them can help the military, but the main ones are probably lithium. Actually, no, those are all really important and could definitely help this country. But that's not going to pay back our money. That doesn't do anything for us. That helps the country and that helps defense contractors, but that doesn't help us. So to answer that question, beryllium, graphite, lithium, and titanium, all very, very serious. And I'm sure there's more. I don't know. I'm sure there's more, though.
This could lead to a third world war. This was headed in the wrong direction. If this election were lost, if we didn't win this election, and we won it by a lot, that was a mandate. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. We won everything. The districts, you look at the areas of red, take a look at a map. This was a big mandate. And this was one of the things I said, we're going to get this thing settled. If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second question?
And my second question for President Zelenskyy: why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest, why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting the
I don't
dignity
know.
of this office.
You have a problem. You have problems. So when you're a little dictator in your country and you shut down all the media that disagrees with you, you're not used to questions like this, which are, I mean, obviously it's a jab, but it's a joke. But he's not laughing. He's annoyed. Like, how can he? How dare he? How dare he say this to me? And just looking at his body language change, you have problems. And he's gonna try to go along with it, but you can see he's clearly frustrated.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes.
Why?
Maybe one.
Maybe something like this?
something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than yeah.
I think he knows the optics of him wearing suits while we're funding their war. But you're a president. What are you doing? Why the little sweaters and the green shirts and the army fatigues and the boots? I actually made a video about this, and I put it in this video because it is funny. But again, that video I made is maybe 2-3 years ago when this all first started.
Thank you.
This is Trump. He said, "Oh, look at you all dressed up." I play it twice. Sorry.
Pretty close. Pretty shut.
He's all dressed up today.
Pretty close. Pretty shut.
He's all dressed up today.
So people. It's not like this isn't new. People have been asking this since the beginning. You can do Vogue, center spreads or whatever they call those, and he still had on the green shirt. You're not military. You're the guy that we saw earlier in heels dancing with the spandex on. What is this? How is this motivating to anybody? You're not tough. But here's me talking about this a year or two ago.
There's no reason for him to dress like he dresses. It's pretty funny. Why can't he wear a suit? It's not like he's in an active war zone. If Ben Stiller can get there, if Sean Penn can get there with a big hunk of gold, it's not very dangerous where he's at. Wear a suit. What are you doing? You're a grown man. It's all a show.
And it's not that he's just a grown man. You're the president of a country. Like, come on, dude. What are you doing? You see him he's in the vest. And, like, what are you doing, dude? No one believes you're fighting anybody. And look how short he is. Let me go back. What is this? 1807. Let me go back. Look how short he's a little guy. Where's the president mocking his? But he's a little guy. He's like 5'8" or something.
Pretty shut.
He's all dressed up today.
Let me go back to 807. Let me go back.
This should have never happened. This should have never started.
Never.
But, sure, the answer is yes, but hopefully we won't have to send much because I'm looking forward to getting it done quickly, very quickly.
Does that mean you'll provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. You fall into the same trap like everybody else. A million times you say it over and over. I want to get the deal done. Security is so easy. That's about 2% of the problem. I'm not worried about security. I'm worried about getting the deal done. The security is the easy part. Security is very nice. Everybody stopped shooting. And now will Europe put people there? I know France is going to. I know the UK is going to. I know other countries are going to, and they happen to be right next door. We haven't committed, but we could conceivably. We have security in a different form. We'll have workers there digging, taking the raw earth so that we can create a lot of great product in this country. So in that sense, you have something, but we haven't determined that yet. I will say
that's such an important point. It's a huge point, actually. If Americans are sitting there and they're government sanctioned, there's a difference between private companies being there and then our people being there because we have an agreement to be mining or however, I don't even know how they get these minerals. But But how we're getting those means that the government has us there. Putin's not going to attack our government officials who are there, even if they're subcontractors. They know that we sent them there. So that is security. So when Trump said that, it made perfect sense to me. I don't know why this guy is so obsessed with security guarantees. I don't know where he thinks he has the right to demand them. It's all interesting to watch because this guy's obsessed with security guarantees, but he's done nothing to earn them. I would think $250 billion and protecting your borders while ours was wide open was a security guarantee. But how do we guarantee that something won't happen to you? The only way is for us to be there, and that's not going to happen.
In speaking to France and in speaking to, and they were here, as you know, last week and just the other day, they have committed to a lot of security. I don't think you're going to need much security. I think once this deal gets done, it's over. Russia's not going to want to go back, and nobody's going to want to go back. When this deal ends, I really believe this deal is going to be over.
That's it.
Question. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. President, thank you. You had Joseph Macron and Keir Starmer at the White House this past week. Both of whom praised your courage and conviction to lead the pathway towards peace.
Yes.
Part of that involved, though, re-engaging Russia in diplomatic relations, something that previous leaders lacked the conviction to do so. What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward and lead that?
Well, I love this guy. Who are you with?
One American News, sir.
Well, that's why I like him. One American News does a great job. I like the question. I think it's a very good question. It's a pathway to peace. It's a pathway to getting something solved. And I feel that as the head of this country, I have an obligation to do that. Plus, we're very much
involved. Body language.
We got involved. It's too bad we got involved because there should have been no involvement because there should have been no war. No, I appreciate your question very much. I feel I have an obligation to try and do something to stop the death.
If I can answer. Yes, if I can answer.
Look, now he wants to answer.
Please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think he's just. I like this.
So I think here Trump feels tension. He feels Zelenskyy trying to jump in, so he's trying to lighten the mood here because it hasn't gone completely off the rails yet. But clearly Zelenskyy has an agenda, and that's what Trump is trying to stop. What's going on, IB? So he's trying to lighten it up, bring it back to the clothes, and say, hey, I like this guy, I like you, for what it's worth. But Zelensky's on a mission, and it already started turning, but this is where it really starts turning because he's about to say some stupid stuff here.
This guy,
I think he's dressed beautiful.
So I have more serious things than
more serious.
I will answer on more serious questions if I can. Yeah. So please, about security guarantees and about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak and speak. It will not work.
Will not work.
Ceasefire will never work because I'm like the president. I have this experience and not only me.
You hear Trump just took a deep breath like, why is this guy doing this right now? He said it can never work. Never? Really? All right, let's go back a little bit.
And speak and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will never work because I'm like the president. I have this experience and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken his own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
He broke the ceasefire with you. And I can kind of see why. He didn't break the ceasefire with us. And he definitely didn't break the ceasefire with Trump.
He never broke to me.
Exactly.
No, you were the president.
You
were the president during.
He never broke to me.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had, of course, not with you, but he had during.
So he said he did with you, and now he's saying, of course, not with you. Let's do the clown. I did not see this, but I'm sure it's going to be part of my next live. I did not see him running to Britain and cry about Donald Trump, but. He's trying to lump Trump in with Obama and with Biden and their offices. And Trump's like, he didn't break anything with me. He's like, oh, you were president. And then he goes, well, he didn't break it with you. All right, dude. This is where it really starts going off the rails. You're gonna see Trump fixing his suit jacket more. My favorite video of all time was when Trump got in front of some world leaders and just pushed them out the way and then fixed his jacket. That's what he does when he's like, yeah, okay. That's how you know he's getting frustrated.
Those period, he had conversations with our side. And we had Normandy format, you know, the France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia. And he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees. Security guarantees, maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough. Because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough.
So ceasefire is not enough. A strong army is enough. This guy he's not talking about peace at all. He wants to fight. He wants to keep fighting. He's making it so clear. Ceasefire will never work. Never. No, not with this guy. He's a killer. He's a terrorist. Look what he's done to our kids. Look what he's done to the prisoners of war. This is all war talk. And we get it. You're in the war. Got it. This meeting was supposed to be about the minerals and signing the document and then going to lunch. And he's turned it into all this. He's whipping out the pictures and all this nonsense. He made this into a big propaganda spectacle. And it's not going to end the way he thinks it is.
We are not strong enough. If we are
There's a jacket.
If our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. Today, you know, he knows that we have all the world knows that we have meeting. Yes? Why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic.
Because you're in war.
Hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop.
He's using because there is no ceasefire, and why would he stop? You're at war. Why would the other side pause while you're here in a meeting with Trump? I would have ramped up to. That's a perfect time, as a matter of fact, to ramp it up. What is this guy talking about? He's acting as if that's the ceasefire. No, the ceasefire is an agreement between us and him and you. We're saying, hey, you're making this promise, and you're making this promise. This is the only way we're going to come to this agreement. Ceasefire isn't between you and Putin. You guys hate each other. Why would he stick to that? It doesn't even, what he's saying makes no sense from a negotiation standpoint. He wants stronger army. He wants security guarantees. He wants us to ramp it up in order to stop the war. How does that work?
It doesn't work. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security, when we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop. If there will not be United States, we will not never have any contingents, strong contingents from the Europeans, because they don't want to divide alliance, connection between the United States and the main and strongest ally and Europeans. And this is crucial, this is important. That's what we want to speak about very much. This is very important. And air defense. So air defense, really, we have big deficit with all these systems.
So he wants air defense, army, money, and security guarantees. So you want to keep going. Why do you need all that if we're trying to stop the war? Oh, you're not trying to stop the war. You're trying to continue. You're talking about a contingency plan. Well, that's a just in case it doesn't work. We're supposed to be talking about making it work. This guy's a clown. He doesn't know anything. I don't know how he got elected. I think he got elected because he was funny. But now he's in a real situation and his ego is in the way. It's really in the way of stopping this, and it's not going to, it can't work. What he's saying is the exact opposite of peace. He's taking the Joe Biden stance. We're just going to keep giving you money and keep fighting, keep fighting. Eventually, Putin will stop. No, that's not how it works. The worst part about this is, again, I'm going to be going over this on my next live on Wednesday or Thursday. When you hear Rubio talk about this, he knew all of this already. He keeps saying, I really want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. Acting like there's urgency. He's already talked about this to everyone. So Rubio's like, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was.
We need to provide this. We need it very much. Otherwise, Putin will never stop and will go further and further. He doesn't want. He hates us. You know, it's not about me. He hates Ukrainians. He thinks that we are not a nation. He thinks, and he shared these thoughts. I think maybe with your team also. I don't know, but with all the Europeans, in media, official and not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation, such language, and such life like Ukrainian. No,
because you're at war.
He really doesn't respect all the Ukrainians, and he wants to destroy us.
Because you're at war.
And you are right, Mr. President. That's 2%. This document, maybe other documents, it's a very good start, very good, but it will not enough to stop this person.
Should Russia pay to rebuild Ukraine?
Mr. President, after these
Should Russia pay to rebuild Ukraine?
They have to pay.
This question.
This is the rule.
Listen to him.
This is the war. This is the rule of the war. During all the centuries, all the history, this is the rule of the war. Who began, those pay.
Do you agree?
This is a
So now he's talking over the media saying, and we need security guarantees, we need air defense, we need army, we need funding, we need weapons. And he's saying, and Putin has to pay for everything that he's destroyed. What is this a negotiation, or are these just your demands? How is this a negotiation? It sounds like you want Trump to get Putin to do everything you want, while you call him names like a child, while you're behind all the people holding you back, and you're throwing claims, and you're acting tough, but you're losing. You're not winning. You don't get to make all these demands. And who's going to pay for this stuff? You? Oh, no. Me, Paul, Coco, IB, Free J. We're supposed to pay for all this stuff that you're talking about, dude.
Putin began this war, he has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. Of course, some Russian assets, what we have in Europe, about 300 billion, we can use them. We can use for innovation and buy military support from the United States also. We can do it, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
under these circumstances, do you envision a trilateral summit with Putin?
It's the jacket again.
NATO. But NATO has to step up, and the Europeans have to step up more than they have. And I want to see them equalize, because they are in for far less than we're in, and they should be at least equal.
Yep.
You understand that? Why is the United States, we have an ocean in between, why is the United States in for so much more money and other things?
All right, so you heard him saying we have an ocean in between. All he's saying is Europe is right there. This guy's claiming he's going to attack them. Why are we paying for more than they are if he's going to attack them? If what this guy's saying is true, why are we funding more than them? Watch what this idiot does with that reference that he just said about having an ocean between us.
As Europe. With that being said, as you said, they've also been obviously very helpful. But we have put in far more than they have. And I think they should equalize.
Mr. President,
Shaking his head.
About the agreement again today, what changed between the first time that Secretary Bessent gave President Zelenskyy the agreement and today for the signing?
We made a deal. So
what was the deciding factor?
I'm a business person. We made a deal. That's what changed. I didn't think we were going to make a deal, and we ended up making the deal, so that changed.
Mr. President, what and how do you envision a trilateral summit with President Zelenskyy and Putin?
I don't know, but well, they don't like each other. I can tell you that. Okay? They do not like each other. This is not a
jacket
love match,
again.
and it's unfortunate. That's why you're in this situation.
That's why you're
the
in this
United
situation.
States should not have allowed this to happen. Okay, the United States.
Look at his body
run by
language.
A man that didn't know much. I'm going to be very nice. Run by an incompetent person, very incompetent person, should never have allowed this to happen. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. My people will tell you, I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about. I stopped wars before they ever started. You can look at some of, I could give you a lot of nations that would tell you right now they were probably going to war. I could tell you right now there's a nation thinking about going to war on something that nobody in this room has ever even heard about. Two smaller nations, but big, still big.
Look at his face. He's smiling,
And
doing this.
I think I've stopped it, but this should have never happened.
About,
Now look at him.
sorry, just a second.
Let me jump in.
About any negotiations. First of all, I want really to tell you, and I think that everybody understands that Ukraine, modern Ukrainians, nobody wants to stop this war. But at the future, any negotiations, it's understandable that two sides of the war, not Russia and the United States, because this is not the war between Russia and the United States. This is war of Russia against Ukraine.
Then why do we need to fund it? Great point, by the way. Great point, Vladimir. Great point. But why, if it's not a war between us and them, why do we have to fund it? Just asking.
Ukrainian people. So these two sides will be at the anyway will be at the negotiation table. Then of course United States, like the strongest partner of the Ukraine, and of course Europe. I think Europe is very important. I want to speak about it with the president. Yes, Europe is very important for us because we really defend Europe for today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending line, and they have real life, and our people are dying. That's why they helped us. And also, it's about the NATO. Yes, between, like the president said, you have big, nice ocean. Yes, between us. But if we will not stay, Russia will go further to Baltics and to Poland, by the way. But first to the Baltics. It's understandable for them because they've been in the USSR, you know, they've been one of the republics of the USSR, and Putin wants to bring them back to his empire.
Now, Putin has said that, and he's romanticized that. But if that's true, then that's all the more reason for what Real Talk Nikki just said. Step up. You're in danger, Poland. You're in danger, Europe. Putin wants to take over all of you guys. Okay, so his angle is, well, they're your allies. You're not. Stop telling us about our allies. You're not. This whole preemptive thing, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And this is all that man's fault. Everything he's saying is the same thing that Biden used to say. And apparently that worked on Biden. It never worked on the American people. There are people in Congress who stood up for this garbage. But then slowly but surely, people started to say, wait a minute, how much money have we sent? Because it started out at 40 billion, then it ramped up to 65, then it was over 80, then we were at 105, 115, 120. It just kept going, and people are like, how much are we going to do? What is the exit strategy? What does a win look like? They never had it. What's going on, Mike Levin?
Fact. And when he will go there, if we will not stay, you will fight. Your American soldiers, it doesn't matter, do you have ocean or not, your soldiers will fight.
Mr. President, would you be willing to...
Now, that's the first time he said that garbage. The next time he says that, Trump's going to check him. Oh, you're going to fight this war. If you don't help me, you're going to be involved in a war. Your kids are going to be sent to this war. So you might as well pay up now. Dude. So Trump, you see his face, he just let it slide. All right, this dude is out of control. I'm going to keep trying, but he's going to test my patience. And J.D. Vance, man, props to this dude. He finally was like, all right, dude, you got to be the most ungrateful little... Anyway.
Visit Ukraine, maybe Kyiv or Odessa, which is known to be a 30-year-old Black Sea.
It was my question.
Look at him. That's what I want to know.
I don't want to talk about Odessa now. Let's not talk about Odessa. I want to talk about making a deal, getting peace. We don't have to talk about Odessa, but a lot of cities have been destroyed. A lot of cities that are not recognizable. There's not a building standing.
No.
And a
Look
lot
at
of
him. Look at him.
things have to
Mr. President, you have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities.
So he wants the sympathy of Putin's doing all this. He's blowing up schools. As he said earlier, he's blowing up schools and workplaces, and he's doing all this stuff. But then when Trump says it, no, you got to come look. It's not that bad. He's trying to show how strong he is. He's trying to posture, I'm strong, while get sympathy at the same time. about how horrible these tragedies are that Putin's inflicting on him. You can't have it both ways. Either you're super strong and you're fighting them off and Putin is weakened by you, or he actually is doing the things that you were claiming earlier that he's doing. But now you're frustrated that Trump had the nerve to say that he's decimating your country. You said that. You said that. He's going to say it again right here.
Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but
Yeah,
mostly cities alive and people work and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes closer to front line, children have to go to underground schools or online. But
so it's not bad. The kids just have to go to school underground or online. And yeah, there's destruction, but it's not that bad because we're winning, because we're strong. We're Ukraine. Ukraine pride. What is this? This is a clown show. He's double talking. I don't think he's used to talking this much, but he's forcing this conversation that's not even supposed to happen. This was supposed to end like 20 minutes ago, maybe 30 minutes ago. It's ridiculous. Here it is. We're supposed to be worried about this country. Paul Thomas, thank you. This has to end for Trump to focus on us, our communities, our hurricane and fire victims, natural disaster victims, lowering our interest rates, lowering our taxes. We shouldn't be wasting time talking about this guy, his arrogance, his ego, and what he needs from us in order to feel safe. I don't feel safe sending all of our money over there because I think we can get attacked here by thousands and thousands or millions of people who came across our southern border from who knows where. I don't feel safe. I want my security guarantees. I don't care about your security guarantees. I empathize. I feel bad for you, but I feel more bad if somebody breaks into my home who's not supposed to be here.
we live, Ukraine is fighting, and Ukraine lives. This is very important. And maybe it's Putin is sharing this information that he destroyed us. No, he lost 700,000 people, 700,000 soldiers. He lost everything. Yes. So,
Mr. President,
You lost everything. I'm tough.
Please, go ahead.
When did you last speak with President Putin, and what did he say that?
A couple of days ago.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good. And I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. My whole life, that's what I do, is make deals. And I'm in the middle of a mess because this is a real mess. It's a very dangerous one. If this doesn't get solved now, it's not going to get solved for a long time. So I hope we're going to get it solved.
How was the latest call? What did you discuss? How did it go?
Are you serious with that question?
I am. I'd love to know.
It went well. I think we're going to.
He wants to know
On
details.
the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines and in areas that Russia has occupied. Will you direct President Putin to withdraw his forces from those areas if there's U.S. interest?
Well, we'll take a look at the time. We have a lot of area.
Yeah. Good question.
It's a very big area we're talking about. So we'll take a look. I'll study that and I'll see.
And who would protect those minerals if they are U.S. interests? Would that be Ukrainian
They'll be
forces?
protected. The agreement will protect them.
Yeah.
The agreement, yeah, we're signing an agreement.
The agreement is we're here. If you shoot us, you're shooting at us. That's the agreement. Like, the question is dumb, first of all. The fact that he's like, yeah, who's going to protect? Like, these people are just dumb. The agreement says we're going to be mining in this country. Automatically, that means hands off. We now have a vested interest in this. I don't understand why they're confused as to, well, what's the guarantee? You think Putin's just going to start shooting our people while we're mining? That's starting world war right there. You're now starting a war with us. Now, the problem is Biden has been funding a war against Putin. So Putin already sees us as, well, you guys are already funding a guy who's shooting my people. I have a problem with that. So Trump gets in and says, hey, we're going to end this now. Time to stop. No more of this. So Putin's grateful that we're no longer funding a war against him. We have the cards in this. Us, then Putin, then Zelenskyy. Us because we're funding, for some reason we've been funding the war. Putin is next because he's still winning the war. No matter if it's a stalemate, he's winning because it's him against Zelenskyy, Europe, and us. Now, we're not using military. We haven't put people on the ground or anything like that. But the fact that we're funding it means he's up against us. So when we say, all right, we're now here, we're in these lands, we're working in these lands, we have a vested interest in these lands, that is it. That's why Trump keeps saying, it's over once we sign this stupid document that this little guy was supposed to sign 30, 40 minutes ago. But he's so dumb and egotistical and a mini tyrant that he doesn't get it. And he doesn't listen. And he doesn't understand. He's probably thinking about his glitter heels right now.
Right, but what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression in the
Press invade.
I just told you I don't think that's going to happen. And if that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal.
Some people may wonder why.
You know, they ought to focus on CNN on survival, not asking me these ridiculous questions. Focus on surviving, because CNN's got such low ratings, I don't think they're going to survive. Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, you know, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done.
People like the underdog, and they view Ukraine as the underdog, and they just pick sides. People are tribal. They're just going to pick their side. That's what it really is all about. Unfortunately.
You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Here we go. Showtime.
I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line.
So he wanted Trump, when he got in 2016, to go after Putin, to kick him out of Crimea. So you don't want to blame Obama. You want to blame Trump 2 years after an invasion and an occupation. What does that have to do with Trump, and what does that have to do with us? Nobody stopped him. You stop him. It's your war. Make the case. Make the case to Poland. Make the case to Great Britain. Make the case to all of Europe. Hey, this guy's coming for you after me. Don't come here and lecture us because Putin took some of your land and say, well, you didn't stop him. It's your land. Why are you expecting us to stop him 2 years after the fact?
Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
All right, so there's way more history to this, and again, I'm gonna do a whole live on that. What happened is he got more aggressive as we got more aggressive, as we started supporting Ukraine and putting weapon systems there, and what ended up happening is Kamala went to Ukraine and hinted that they would be allowed into NATO. Okay. The one thing that America told Gorbachev way back when is that we would never aggress towards Russia again. Ukraine has been lobbying since 2014 to become part of NATO to stop Putin from invading their country. Now, that's got nothing to do with us. Really, it has nothing to do with us. But he's acting as if us sending Kamala over to Ukraine to hint at letting them in NATO was not a trigger for Putin and didn't result in a week later or a couple days later him rolling right into Ukraine. How many times did that man have to warn us to stop? She went there and, in my opinion, intentionally provoked him. She provoked Putin into this war. He was already going to do it anyway. Let's not act like he wasn't going to do it. But to go in there and say something like that triggered it. It did not help. It really didn't. So he's sitting here acting like this has anything to do with Trump or us. Blame Kamala, and Biden. Those are the idiots who got you into this. They guaranteed we would always stand by your side. I don't know why. Did they think they were going to be in office forever like you?
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about?
Just call him JD.
What do you mean?
You're speaking to the... Hold on. Sorry. You're speaking to the Vice President of the United States and you just called him JD. You know how disrespectful that is? You know how disrespectful that is? JD. What kind of diplomacy are you talking about? It's Mr. Vice President. You don't, like... That's the most basic formality that you use in any kind of diplomacy, any kind of foreign relations. You don't refer to him as JD. You're not brothers. You're not his cousin.
Can you, President? In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract.
Sounds like you had a bad deal. And he broke it. Okay. What's that got to do with us? JD. It's coming back up. Sorry.
Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners.
Exactly.
We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
Yeah.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about?
JD.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think
he just called him Mr. President. Even after he disrespected him, he still wouldn't do it. He didn't say Vladimir. Like everything this dude is doing. Look at his body language right now. Arms crossed. I'm the tough guy in here. I'm calling the shots. Man, boy.
It's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what.
I have videos of them doing these conscripts. What that means is they're forcing. It's mandatory. Between certain ages, you have to be in the military as a man. They're forcing it. I have videos from within their country, from their own journalists, saying that they're doing this. They're dragging men out of trucks and forcing them to fight in this war. That's what J.D. Vance is talking about. He's saying, well, you haven't been there. Show it to me. If you don't know that's going on, then there's something really, really bad. Or maybe you shut that media source down so you, I don't know, you're unaware? I'm pretty sure you know what you're doing. Pretty sure.
What happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr.
Yep.
President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean. And don't feel now.
He goes with the ocean again. For some reason, that comment bothered him. For some reason. But JD's checking him like, hey, boy, it's time to show some respect. Enough, Mr. President. He's checking him on him calling him JD without saying it. He didn't say Vladimir. He just said, hey, Mr. President, with all due respect. Because that's what we're supposed to be doing here. You're trying to litigate in front of the media. You're putting on a show. That's what you're used to doing. This is so great.
You'll feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God
don't.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
Now,
problems.
He sneaks in that remark about the ocean again, and Trump's finally like, all right, this is the third time you said this. Stop. Enough. Enough. You're going to have to fight in this war. No, we're not. Stop.
Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
Yes, sir.
We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
Yes, sir.
Telling you,
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly what
Remember
you're
this.
doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
You will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
So even while the President of the United States is talking, the most powerful man in the world, this idiot is trying to overtalk him and tells, oh, you will feel it. Shut your mouth. Stop. Does he have nobody in the room saying, hey, relax, knock it off, stop? He's trying to force this point. I don't know what he thought was going to happen here. It seems like he's not used to not getting his way. He's a mini tyrant. His people don't tell him no or don't say, hey, I don't know about this. He's used to being the man in charge, as little as he may be. And he's literally trying to overtalk the President of the United States.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad
beginning
position, and he happens to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of.
I'm very serious. We're not playing cards. He's not getting it. You need to shut up now. Trump he's increasingly aggressing. Like, all right, that's enough. He's posturing up. and Zelenskyy is too dumb to understand that that's what's happening right now. You're getting checked. You don't have to understand it, but once you get kicked out of here, you will fully understand. You will fully understand.
Very bad position, and he happens to be right about
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Look at him.
And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
We are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in
Still
our
talking.
country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said
Alone?
thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
How do you get over $200 billion from another country and say we've been alone because we didn't give you enough weapons? We've given you tanks, we've given you javelins, we've given you, they've actually given them planes now. We've given you missile defense systems, we've given you missiles. And you're saying we've been at this alone since the beginning. Complete and utter disrespect to you, to Paul Thomas, to Mike Levin, to Coco. Who else is from here? Real Talk Nikki. Who else is from here? Free J, G Will. This man just said he's been going at this alone the whole time. I'm tough. With my money, I bet you are tough. How long would this have lasted if we didn't send you 1 cent? How long do you think you would have lasted? Now you're sitting over here, over talking the President of the United States, telling the Vice President, who you called JD, that just because you're speaking loud doesn't make your point any better. Dude. I would never let him in the White House again. Any other meeting would have to be in a hotel, a cheap hotel. Secure it, but a cheap hotel, just to show him who he is. You're nothing. You're nothing.
You haven't been alone. We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion. We gave you military equipment, and your men are brave, but they had to use our military.
So his response to we've given you $350 billion is, well, you voted for him. No thanks. Complete and utter disregard for what we've done for him already because he needs more and he expects it. We've given you $350 billion. Well, you voted for him. Don't call him stupid. Call you stupid. Apparently, I don't know what that even means. Why would he say you voted for him? Listen to this.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President,
Still
we are
talking.
staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been
Not only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
We gave
for
you
your
military equipment, and your
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over
Long
in
time
2
ago.
weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
So now he's swatting away what the presidents say. Oh, not 2 weeks, 3 days. I heard Putin say this. This dude, I don't know. I would have put hands on this dude. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. This dude is beyond a spoiled brat. He's beyond entitled. He's beyond arrogant. And his ego is out of control. Oh, yeah. They would have beat us in 3 days. We're so tough. With my money, you are very tough. Without it, I can't wait to see what you do. Because he immediately wanted to come back. He didn't think he should apologize. Again, that's what I'm going to go over Wednesday. He doesn't owe us an apology. He doesn't owe Trump an apology. He just doesn't understand why we don't understand that he needs security. He went right back to security guarantees.
This is something
Maybe
new
less.
in 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
Accept
times.
that they're
thank you.
Look at him. What an attitude. I said thank you a lot of times. Now give me some more. This dude is the arrogance. It is insanity. And as it progresses, not one of his people came and put their hand on his shoulders. Hey, we're in front of the world right now. Do you understand what you're doing? Do you know who you're talking to? You're talking to the president of the United States and his number 2 guy or his number 1 guy. What are you doing? You idiot. Somebody should have said something. And he doesn't get it. Either he doesn't get it or, again, he's not been told. Dude, you should be asking them for the stuff. These demands you're making, you have no right to make them. You owe these people. Where is the thanks?
You didn't have our military equipment.
Put his hand on
You
him.
didn't have our military equipment. This war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again, just say thank you.
I said a lot of
to
American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful.
Just that statement was such a power move. He said, this is the only reason why I let this nonsense go on, so everyone can see what I'm dealing with. That was amazing. That was a power play that just came, like, the stuff this is how you know he really does these negotiations. But he was like, this is why I let this go on this long. Because it really honestly should have been over 40 minutes ago. 40 minutes ago, this meeting was supposed to be over. And it's denigrated into this, or deteriorated into this.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I
think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me.
I gotta take deep breaths. This man, I don't know how he doesn't understand how disrespectful he's being, but I'm gonna go back because he won't shut up, and he's not listening to somebody who's making points that can help him save thousands, if not millions, of lives. Your people's lives, the very people that you're talking about protecting. I'm trying to help you do that, but you won't shut your mouth and you won't listen.
A ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
That
wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with
He still won't stop talking.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful.
Really do.
Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make because the attitudes
now
have to
mad.
change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do we do then? I understand that it's
so stupid.
Conversation right
What do you say?
This attitude, what if Russia breaks the agreement? Okay, listen. Kevin Samuels used to talk about this. I know it sounds weird. It came out of left field. But when you operate out of fear and lack, this is what happens. You avoid relationships because you're afraid that something happened to you before is going to happen to you again, even though there's different players involved. It's dumb. It doesn't make sense. Well, okay, you guys say you're going to come to an agreement. What if he doesn't do what he says he's going to do? Okay, so you're never going to apply to another job again because what if you don't get it? Or what if you get fired? It's dumb. Trump was not involved before. Why do these people? And you could tell these are probably Ukrainian journalists asking these questions. Well, what if Putin doesn't do what he says he's going to do? So by that lady who's speaking right here, and by Vladimir Zelensky's estimation, we shouldn't do anything. We should just keep fighting. I don't trust this guy. Why try a deal again if your attitude is okay? Well, what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't do what he says he's going to do? Okay, that's part of the deal. Is saying if you don't do this, then this. It's a very simple if-then statement. If you attack us while we're there mining, you are now attacking the United States of America. Sounds pretty secure to me. But these people who operate out of fear and lack, I don't have security. Well, how are you going to make sure I'm secure? I was left by this guy or this girl before. What if you leave me? Then you're not going to make for a good partner. Like, you can't marry a woman if all you're worried about is the women who cheated on you in the past. And for women, you're never going to find a guy if all you do is worry about the guys who cheated on you in the past. You can't take that out moving forward. You can't take it out on the people that you're now engaging with. And that's what they're doing. All he's talking about is the traumas that happened to him in the past because Putin left me. He cheated on me. Well, now you have this guy coming in and say, okay, well, now I'm here. I'm going to make sure he doesn't cheat on you, honey. This is insanity. I don't understand it. I legit don't understand it. Listen to her.
I tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to
One more question.
I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks
stupid.
peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
Well, what if anything?
Exactly.
What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
Exactly.
Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war.
Yep.
And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. Yep. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened.
Right here.
But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out.
So there was the exchange. Shortly after that, actually, I'll just play what Trump said after that.
This is what I was told.
Oh, actually, no. This is immediately after. Hold on. This is immediately after. Dang, can't get the perfect spot. All right, let's try here.
This is what I was told. The president has kicked Zelenskyy out of the White House. His delegation right now is telling him that he's got to go home. The president felt disrespected. Officials in the room felt that beyond the language barrier that we've heard some discussion about, Zelenskyy's body language, shrugging and eye rolling, was ungrateful, disrespectful, and the president feels that Zelenskyy is not ready for peace, and he can come back when he's ready to talk about peace, but he's not in that position right now, and Zelenskyy is being told he's got to go. The lunch that they were supposed to have is sitting right outside the hallway, and the press staffers are going to be eating that lunch. This is really pretty incredible.
So the lunch they were supposed to have 40 minutes ago, they just gave it to the press staffers. Here, you guys can have it. This guy's not eating anything. Get out. Deserved it. He absolutely deserved it. So great. So great. But this is Trump right after. I don't know where he was flying to, but this is Trump right after.
His standpoint, I think he very much overplayed his hand. We're looking for peace. We're not looking for somebody that's going to sign up a strong power and then not make peace because they feel emboldened, and that's what I saw happening.
Yep.
It was just my impression that if we do that, if we sign up, he's looking for something that I'm not looking for. He's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to end the death. We're not doing that. Now, if we don't do anything, he's going to have to make peace, but he's dealing with a very weak set of cards. If we sign, he's dealing with a very strong set of cards, and then he doesn't want to make peace. So that's where we are. It's very simple. I'm not looking to get into anything protracted. I want immediate peace. President Putin is going to want to make, and he wants to end it. And you saw what I saw today. This is a man that wants to get us signed up and keep fighting, and we're not doing that. Not for this country. He's got to say, I want to make peace. He doesn't have to stand there and say about Putin this, Putin that, all negative things. He's got to say, I want to make peace. I don't want to fight a war any longer. His people are dying. He doesn't have the cards. I don't trust or distrust anybody. I just want to get a deal done. And if the deal happens, good. But you can't embolden somebody that does not have the cards, and all of a sudden that person says, oh, well, now I can keep fighting. We're not going to keep fighting. We're going to get the war done or let them go and see what happens. Let them fight it out. If he's capable of making peace, which he may or may not be, but I want somebody that's going to make peace. Again, he doesn't have the cards. When we sign up, he's got all of the cards. That doesn't mean he can fight. He's got to stop the fighting, stop the death. I want it to end immediately. I want a ceasefire now. He says, oh, I don't want a ceasefire. Well, all of a sudden, he's a big shot because he has the U.S. on his side. Either we're going to end it or let him fight it out. And if he fights it out, it's not going to be pretty. Because without us, he doesn't win. Let me tell you, it doesn't matter what I'm considering. I'm just telling you. You saw what I saw today. That was not a man that wanted to make peace. And I'm only interested if he wants to end the bloodshed. Thank you very much.
And that's it. What do you think? I could actually go. I'm going to go live about this Wednesday or Thursday. But I have the history of this. This didn't just come out of nowhere. We had a role in how this started. So little Zelenskyy, with the name calling and all that stuff, it's not smart. You can't negotiate. You don't go in threatening the hostage holder and start calling them names and think it's going to end well. You're going to cost people lives, and that's what this guy's doing. He's costing people lives. During that whole interaction, I guarantee people were getting unalived in his hometown while he's saying we can't negotiate. No ceasefire, no ceasefire. I don't trust this guy. You can't do it. You can't do it. And that's all I have for today. Unless someone wants to come up and talk about it, as far as my presentation, that's all I have. I just found it fascinating, and how many people were blaming Trump for what happened. I still don't understand that. I don't know how you can blame Trump for what happened. He was really calm for a really long time. Well over 35 minutes he was calm. And then finally he's like, all right, I've let this go on long enough. Knock it off. and we can't have a person like that. Thank you, Paul Thomas. We can't allow somebody like that to tell us where our tax dollars go, to blame us when it doesn't go well, and to blame us because we allowed it to happen, because that's everything he was saying. No one stopped them from coming into my country, so now you pay. Who are you? Who do you think you are? When he got kicked out, he knew exactly who he was. He didn't even get his lunch. Trump gave his lunch to not to the press, to the press staffers. Boom, my guy. Here, take that. Oh, it's a really good steak. Take it, take it. This is what the president has to deal with. That alone, dealing with leaders like that guy, has got to be like, oh my God. Can you imagine? Like at work, I get to just fire people when they act like that. Imagine having to deal with them because they're an owner of another corporation. It's like, oh my God. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Paul Thomas, appreciate you. Roll Rich, thank you, sir. Jalen, thank you very much. Coco DeVille, appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very, very much. Mike Levin, Real Talk Nikki, as always, young lady, thank you so much. Free JIB, thank you guys for stopping by. G Will, of course, as always. Who was in here? Who else was in here? We had John Show was in here. Thank you, sir. Not John Show. I always say that. I don't know why I say that. Hold on. Is John Thompson? Yeah. Vince, thank you. Tizzle, thank you. Vibe in my lane. Appreciate you. Miss Phoenix, as always. Thank you so much. Boss Man, thank you for stopping by. Mel Dub, as always. Appreciate you, sir. John Thompson. That's why I don't know why I always call him John Show. Always. Sorry about that. John Show, shout out to you too, though. He's cool. Cool peoples. I think I got everybody. Just Jay, of course. Uncle L, of course. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you all. Miss Chicago. And Henry Caldwell. All of you guys, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share this one, because I don't think people understood what was happening before it happened. And then they just saw it like, oh my God, here goes Trump again. No. There's more to this. And Wednesday, maybe Thursday, my next live is going to be the aftermath of all this. And Rubio explaining, wait a minute. He came in with some kind of plan because he knew all of this stuff. I don't know why he came in acting like this. And then I'm going to play the history. Before we even start all that, I'm going to play the history of that war and what happened since 2014. It actually goes back to the 90s. But yeah, appreciate you all. I started out with a young lady named Samantha Fish, and I'm going to end with the extension of that music. It's great blues music. Love it. While I can still play music before I'm monetized, I'm going to keep playing it. So this will be Kingfish. That'll be the outro. Again, like, subscribe, share. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, let me put in my Rumble link and my YouTube link. So Rumble for you guys over here at YouTube. There's that. So Rumble, if you're in here, that's my YouTube channel. YouTube people, you guys are here. This is my Rumble channel. Like and sub up over there. If I have a live that disappears because of YouTube guidelines, it will be on Rumble. They don't do that. So there's that. If you would like to donate and provide a fresh wind, you can donate to this channel via Cash App until I'm able to do super chats and all that good stuff. And on X, follow me on X also. That is, I think they said now that is the #1 place that people get their news. And the cool thing is they have those community notes so you can sift through stuff and find out what's real, what's not. That is my ex. Now I will say thank you guys so much. Appreciate you all, and let's go out on some music.
Said I go under. Away, lost my baby don't love me no more, y'all. Said I know her baby sister.